Hello everyone, this is Bill Lewis. Good evening. I am the silver entrepreneur, and my role in life now and my passion is to ensure that you, whatever your age, but I'm particularly talking to the older people, the more senior people in my audience, to become involved again in life. To become involved in setting up a business, to become involved in creating something. All those years that you have, all the experiences that you have amassed, they are worth something. You might not think they are, but they are. What we have to do is to set them in the context of today. Now that might mean that we also have to learn some new technologies and some new skills, and some new ways of communicating. Well, so be it. I've had to do that. What do I do? Who am I? Well, I am a company director as the result of being a co-founder of a technology company. Now look, let's face this. I'm 73. And when I was 68, I formed as a co-founder what is known up as a startup tech company. A startup tech company. You know, these are the kind of things which are started by 30-year-olds or 25-year-olds in Silicon Valley in California. But myself and another colleague, a guy who is also round about my own age, we started our own tech company in Singapore. And it's doing very well. Thank you very much. Now, in that period, I've had to learn a hell of a lot. But okay, that is what life is about. Life is about learning. Life is about learning and applying what you learn. Getting new skills, grabbing new skills. Do you think that before I was really adept at sitting in front of a laptop, recording a video so I could communicate with you? No, I hated it. You know, I've been forced to sit here and do this. Because I felt really conscious, as you would do too. But we have to get through this. So let me tell you a little bit about me. Now, I'm going to tell you things and you're going to think, oh, why is he telling us this? He's done all this stuff. He's so arrogant. I hope you don't say that. I don't tell you what I'm going to tell you because I want to appear arrogant. I'm going to tell you a story because I want you to be inspired. If I can do what I have done, so can you. I don't care where you have come from and where you are today. You can do it. You can still achieve something whether you're 50, 60, 70, 80, or even 90. My greatest concern about people, and this doesn't matter how old you are, it seems to be an affliction which starts to attack people when they're in their 30s. All of a sudden they get a mindset that they're in a job. And they're going to stay in that job if they're lucky until they retire. And when they retire, they're going to wait to die. And that's their life. Their life is waiting to die. And they spend 20, 30, 40, 50 years waiting to die. What a tremendous waste of talent and energy and potential experience and resources. It's a terrible waste. Okay, so back to me. I was born in the northwest of England, in a rural farming village. My mum was a shop girl and my dad was a labourer. And we lived in a little, normally that would get edited out, wouldn't it? But it's not going to get edited out of this video. We lived in a little rented house. We didn't have electricity until I was about 9 years old. I used to go to bed with a candle, and our living room had gas lights, and it was heated by a fire. And my dad had to go out and he used to collect wood, and that's how we heated the house. Well, we didn't actually heat the house. We heated one room. That's all we could do. All right, some of the bedrooms had fireplaces in, and in theory, you could actually light a fire in the bedroom. But the house was in such a state that if you lit a fire in the bedroom, the smoke would come back down the chimney. And, you know, you've got to sleep in that, and you'd be suffocated, you'd be dead in the morning. So, well, you've got a choice. You either suffocate from the smoke or you die of freezing cold. So, anyway, we just had a pile of blankets instead. So I got through school. I got myself to a decent school by some means of luck, or I don't know. I did, and then I left school at 16 because I couldn't afford to stay on. My parents had no money. I got a job. And later on, like when I was about 20, I realized that I'd kind of missed the boat. And I didn't go to university, did I? I went for a job interview one day. And at that job interview, the guy said, "You've got some tremendous experience, but you're not terribly well qualified, are you?" And I looked at him. He said, "Well, all you've got is a few O-levels. We don't kind of recruit people with O-levels. Why don't you go away and kind of get some A-levels and a degree or something?" Well, he did me a great favor. So I went to what at that time was a local tech. Today it's morphed into a university, so many years later, decades later. And I kind of conned my way onto a course. I didn't have the qualifications, but I did a deal. And the deal was this: that if I got my A-levels, which I needed to get on the course in the first term, they would allow me to stay on the course. Well, that sounded like a reasonable deal. And I did. I got 3 A-levels at A grade in the first term. Because at that time you could the resits for A-levels were in November, so I could take the November paper. And so I stayed on, and I did what was known as a higher national diploma. And I realized, of course, that a higher national diploma was not a degree. It was pretty good, but it was okay, but it's not a degree. I only found that out partway through the system. So I thought, well, I want a degree. And I then applied to a university. And they said, well, yeah, sure, you can have a degree. You can come, you can join us. We'll take your HND and your A-levels, and you can start a bachelor's degree. And that's 3 years. And I thought, oh, stuff that. I don't want to be at university for another 3 years. I've already done 3 years on HND. So what do? What I do is that I go and I find somebody at a university who has got the faith and the foresight and the belief and the flexibility and the autonomy to allow me to get on a master's course. Yes, a master's course. And the guy, his name was Forthrop, Professor Roger Forthrop. Professor Roger Forthrop said to me, he said, look, I'm probably stepping out of line here to do this, but if you write a dissertation, which in my opinion is equivalent to at least a 2-1, then I will give you a place on my master's course in Lancaster University's Business School. So I went away and I wrote my dissertation. And Roger called me up. He said, I need to see you. So, full of a little bit of trepidation, of course, I go to see him. And Roger says, well, I asked you to give me a dissertation that in my opinion would be worthy of a 2-1. I'm sorry, it is not worthy of a 2-1. It's what I would expect from somebody who I was going to award a first-class honours to. So you have your place on the master's course. So I completed the master's course with distinction. Over the next few years, I had a sequence of some very, very good corporate jobs, and I elevated into the executive realms of companies like KPMG and of British Airways, and I got sent to Harvard Business School and yada, yada, yada. All great stuff. But, you know, I came back in the mid-80s from America, And I felt that there was something that I needed to do. And to cut a long story short, myself and 3 other guys who were absolutely amazing people, we put together a charity to help young, disadvantaged young people, ex-offenders, drug addicts, people that have been in trouble with the law, unemployed. We built and created a rehabilitation program. And over the next 5 years, I ran that program along with the 3 other guys and some other wonderful people, because the team became larger and larger and larger. And we changed the lives of between 400 and 500. And then I moved on, carried on. I did something else. And in the mid-90s, through a series of appalling mishaps and terrible judgment on my part, I was bankrupt. All but bankrupt. So I had to start climbing back. And the short version of this, from the mid-90s on, is I climbed back and I was incredibly successful, and I'm successful today. And you know what the critical ingredient of that success is? It's belief. It's belief that you can do it. It's belief that you are capable. It is belief that it is your entitlement and your right and your journey to go and create and do and achieve whatever it is. Do not limit your aspirations. Do not limit your ambition. Do not take no. Remember when I went to the college, the first reaction was, you've only got O-levels, can't come on. I didn't accept that. I didn't even go to that college with the belief that I was going to be rejected. I went to that college with the belief that I would be accepted by whatever means. When I went to university, I went because I had the belief that I would get on a master's course. If I found the right university with the right person, the right professor, at the right time, I would be accepted. And then, incidentally, the sidebar conversation, the guy that gave me the advice about the O-levels, I went back to see him. He was a senior HR guy at Ford Motor Company, Ford of Europe. And I went back for an interview and I said, do you remember me? And he kind of looked and he goes, I see a lot of people. I said, well, 5 years ago, I came here and you told me that you wouldn't employ me because all I had was O-levels. And I should go away and get some qualifications, so I did that. And I've come back and here's my master's degree awarded with distinction. What are you going to do? So I'm going to offer you a job. So for a period of time I worked with Ford of Europe, and then I went on to KPMG and then British Airways. Now, I don't tell you this because I want to impress you. I want to tell you this because what allowed me to achieve these things was the power of belief that I can. I can. And even today, I've got still, at my tender age of 73 years, I still have big goals. You have to have big goals in your life. You can't have goals that is tending your marigolds, tending your dahlias, pruning the roses, waiting to die. Is that a worthy goal? Is that a worthy reason for being on this earth? Tending your roses and waiting to die? Of course it's not. You have things to give. You have got a contribution to make. You know, there's this saying which I'm sure you've heard before. Too many people go to see their maker, they die with the song still inside them. They never sang a note. Well, I'm telling you, I want you to sing a note. I don't want you to sing a note. Sorry, I'm going to take that back. I want you to sing a song. I want to see you sing a whole performance. I want you to sing to the whole world. I want you to do stuff. And I don't want you to accept the fact that whatever age you are, that age is a barrier. Society will put that on you. I did some work about 5 years ago in a nursing home in Singapore. It appalled me. It appalled me. It demonstrated to me what was wrong with our society. Now, the carers that worked in that nursing home and the staff, they were angels. They were wonderful. They really, really tried to take care of old people. But you see, the problem was a lot of the old people there had been parked there by their relatives so they could get them out of the way and allow them to go somewhere while they wait to die. And I looked into a room and there were some 20, maybe 25 old ladies and old men sat around in a semicircle. And some young Filipino nurse was singing and clapping, and they were all clapping together, and she was trying to encourage them to clap and sing a little bit. And I thought, you're going to do this in the morning, and you're going to do this in the afternoon, and you're going to do this while you wait. Now, it wasn't the fault of those old people. It was the fault of society, of casting someone away to wait to die. It was the fault of society for telling somebody that they do not have anything but a role in life, which is almost a robot. You work at a job, you get a wage, you be good, you take orders, and at some point in time you retire, and then you can sit down and you can watch television and you can prune your roses and wait to die. This is what society, and this is what big corporate, and this is what the education system, and this is what authority figures tell people like this. That is a belief system which they put into their minds, and I'm telling you, if that belief system is in your mind, get rid of it. It's a cancer. Yes, people suffer from cancer. It's a terrible disease. But there is a worse kind of cancer. And that worst kind of cancer is a cancer of the mind which debilitates you and does not allow you to reach your full potential. Well, we're going to change that. Because what I'm going to do, and I'm going to invite you at the end of this video to subscribe and to write to me. What we're going to do is we're going to create a movement. I am the silver entrepreneur, and you are going to join me. You are going to be silver entrepreneurs. You're going to create your own businesses. You're going to do stuff. And it doesn't matter if for some reason you do stuff for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 20 years. It doesn't matter. But at least when your maker says, hey, Mr. Entrepreneur, it's time for you to come and teach people in this business school, you're going to say, okay, boss, at least I've been singing my song. I'm not going to come to you with a song inside of me. So please click below and come and join me. This is Bill Lewis, the Silver Entrepreneur, signing off.